Yeah, I got to address some of the weird banking conspiracy theories out there about, the financial collapse and, the bank will all close and you lose all your money and all this kind of garbage. There's some areas that can be dangerous. I'll say what, and actually the regulators even state this about the ETFs, the electronically traded funds. Those, a lot of it's based upon derivatives and things, right? There could be a problem there. But as far as the banking system itself and, not, everything closing down and all, you hear this garbage, right? You hear this garbage all the time. That's why you should buy physical gold, physical silver, and all this. Now, there is one angle, possibly, where something like this could happen. And that is due to the electrical power grid in the United States, which could be vulnerable to terrorist attack or possibly EMP attack. Now, that would be throwing a monkey wrench in the works. But, you always hear this stuff about from the... And, a lot of these people they damn well know better, man. They're playing fear on people. They're playing fear on people for profit. I'm not playing that game. I ain't playing that game. But I'm going to give you a straight up scoop. There could be something maybe in the future if there ever was like a real conflict in the war, and like a real world war, and there's some kind of even limited nuclear exchange. Yeah, the banking system is going to get shut down. Yeah, that's no BS. I'm like, it's too bad to think about it. You don't even want to think about it. But it's not going to shut down due to like, the stuff these people are putting out on, like, the dollar's going to collapse and all this kind of garbage. It's going to get diminished. The dollar's going to get diminished as the world reserve currency. But as far as the actual banking system, it's not going to collapse the way these people keep saying, like you're going to lose all your money like in the 1930s. I almost think about a lot of this stuff where they used to put out, people still do this, everything you have on paper is going to go away. Bullshit. No way. No way. Because paper is a representation of a real hard physical good. There's going to be some paper that's going to go bad, which is going to be maybe some, it could be like certain corporation bonds, certain bonds of corporations. It could be certain equities. It could be certain government paper too. If the United States ever defaults, it probably will someday. I don't know when exactly, because the paper charade Ponzi scheme seems to be going one way or the other, man. They pull something out of your hat, but it's going to happen someday. But I have to state that you're still not going to lose your money in the bank. What could probably possibly happen though is that they might have to do so much stimulus that there's going to be rampant inflation, and that's why you want to keep your physical gold. But as far as like the banking system being unstable and ready to collapse at any point in time, that's ridiculous. But I do want to point out, it's been noted for many, many years, even the government regulators said that, and I've read a number of things about it. I forgot what I read, but a lot of the electronically traded funds, they are probably not that stable, because they're depending upon derivatives, and that's where you could possibly lose out. But there's a lot of talk always about bank closures. You always see this, and it's like, and I don't want to play that game, but I know and because I know it must be profitable for some, people to put this garbage out, because, I see this on some other things, like the banks are going to close, and this said this, and this said that. Now, like, if I put something out, I put out something what Paul Volcker said, and it turned out to be wrong so far, But, I put out something maybe, something like that. Like, basically, Paul Volcker, the former Federal Reserve Chairman, but, he was giving a serious opinion about something. It's more of a responsible type thing. But, a lot of times, I have to say this. The only reason these freaking crazy rumors take root is because the average person's got a giddy mind. Man, I almost go back to the damn stuff they put out. Was it H.G. Wells with the Martian invasion on the radio? They did that skit back in the 30s. And all these people thought there was a Martian invasion going on, even though on the radio they were saying it was a skit. And people were jumping off of freaking buildings and shit. Man, I tell you, man, I don't know, the average person's is all in with giddy rumors and drama. And that's that's why these rumors like this go along. But it's not like everything's totally safe. Everything on a piece of paper is safe. I'm not saying that. But by and large, if you have like something that's on paper that represents something that's a true asset, or it's an equity that you have, it exists electronically. Maybe you don't have a physical paper stock certificate, but you have an equity in a company that's producing goods and services for people that they need. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away because it's based upon something solid. There's certain aspects of things that maybe have problems, but by and large, the banking system is not going to be something where if you put your money in it, you're going to lose your money. And because the FDIC actually, it doesn't have enough money to back everything. But actually, if something happened where it was catastrophic, they'd get the money. They'd make the money. Here's the problem: that the money might be there, but it may not have the same purchasing power. That could possibly happen. But as far as you actually going to the bank and saying, "Oh, the banks are closed," the Illuminati is going to declare a bank holiday. How many times did I hear that garbage before? The thing is, when I look at those things, I almost think about, could you imagine a Walmart family going to the bank and saying, they can't get their money out or something? Or, any of these big businesses, like they're going to shut down the banking system and destroy the whole freaking sinews and muscles of the United States, which actually is the elite, their generation of income. You think they're going to do something that stupid? I mean, the politicians are one thing, but who owns the politicians? The biggest money in this country, right? I mean, you think they're going to shut down the banking system? No, they're not. No, they're not. It's ludicrous. Also going to point out, with the elite, the thing with the deal with the elite, this is actually age old. And, I know Russia Today likes to put this out, but I guess Russia Today's always had dictators. Russia's always had dictators because they always like taking pot shots at the United States left and right. But, if I go all the way back in Russian history, but they had some loonies for dictators all the way back too, and they got a new dictator going on right now. But in the United States, it's always kind of been where they had revolving door between Wall Street, New York, and Washington, D.C. It's actually, the big money's always dictated policy in Washington. The Commerce Act came about because of the railroads and stuff like that. But, I also have to tell you this. The elite aren't a bunch of lazy, sit on their ass, do nothings. I'll give you an example. Andrew Carnegie, right? Andrew Carnegie, big time money bags. One time, I guess the richest man in the world or something, maybe at one point in time, right? Andrew Carnegie. He got his fortune mainly off of railroads and steel, right? Do you know he almost went bankrupt? The guy almost went bankrupt. Steel was a brand new building material back in the 1800s. Nobody trusted it. It sounds crazy today. You look, you're thinking like steel's you can't. Well, I guess if a plane hits a building in New York, I guess it could freaking fall down real easy. Or if you got a building 7, you might have a little fire and the steel melts and the whole thing just falls down. I'm just being ludicrous about that, but I guess that's the only time steel actually failed for a building. But, it was like back in the day, back in the 1800s, nobody trusted steel. Here they got this guy Carnegie sticking his neck out on this crap, and he found out the cost of production of the iron steel girders was way the hell up there, and he almost went bankrupt until I think it was Bethlehem Steel or Bessemer or whatever the hell his name was. I forgot the history on it. He actually developed a way to make the steel girders for like, I think they were like $100-something to like $10 or something like that. It was like way less than a tenth the prices before. And then he was able to, he was the first guy in the block investing in this technology, and it became the premier building technology for the 20th century. And he became the richest man in the world at one point in time. But, my point is about that, the elite, I almost call them like entrepreneurs, man. They're not entrepreneurs, they're entrepreneurs, man. They take risk, and sometimes, from my observations of people that made a lot of money, is that they're very aggressive, they know how to, sell and market whatever they got to do too, besides make the right connections. But if they fall down, they're almost like a cat. They got like 9 lives. They land on their feet. If somebody knocks them down, they come back. They come back. That's just how they are, man. And see, the average person won't be like that. So the elite, a lot of times, are the elite because of extraordinary perseverance and work, where a lot of people just won't do it. I'm going to state that too. They're not. Most of the elite aren't really born into their wealth. There's a lot of them that aren't. There's a lot of them aren't. And so, a lot of times people think it's like they were handed to them or something like that. It's not really true. Now, they could have got it by crookery, but, they had to work. They had to be shrewd, hard-working crooks because they were in a pack of thieves, like they're dealing with other thieves and other crooks, and they found a way to, beat them and come out on top. So, I just got to say that because, but the elite aren't going to freaking wake up one day and say, oh, the banks are all closed, they're going to have a bank holiday. How the hell would that serve their purpose? The elite make money off of ventures and businesses that they have established in the United States. They have a bank holiday. Well, how the hell is that going to serve their purpose? Now, like I said, there's possibly one way there could be a true bank closure. It would be through a terrorist attack on our electrical infrastructure, the grid. Yeah, maybe that would do it, right? Or maybe not. Maybe that wouldn't even be a big deal because they got such things as generators and shit. It would probably fix itself a lot faster than you think. I guess the only thing that would actually do that is if you had where there was an actual bank holiday or a total restructuring overnight would be through a nuclear attack. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, I remember back in the 50s, it was always going to happen right away, or in its early 60s, but you don't know. It may happen someday. Oh, without a doubt, it could be in the cards that someday it's going to happen with all the nuclear proliferation that's out there. It might happen someday. But it's not something that the elite are planning per se, for the most part. There might be a few of them maybe, but for the largely, I kind of doubt it. So I just want to put this out here because there's a hell of a lot of freaking idiots out there putting out about bank closures planned for this day and that day. You hear this crap every freaking year, man. I'm like, it ain't going to happen, man. It ain't going to happen. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. No way. No way. There's not going to be, when they had the Cypress haircuts and stuff like that, I think the United States is one of the last places that would happen. For real. For real. Now, I think there's other ways they're going to be freaking trying to take people's money. Obamacare might be one of them. But as far as, all the giddy rumors they've been putting out over here for the last several years, they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. But be that as it may, I just want to say that I think there's going to be a psychological panic into the physical metals at one point in time, and you will see the metals actually go far higher than the actual price of inflation. Now, with silver, it's unpredictable. They don't call it the devil's metal for nothing, and there's a reason for it, because it's damn unpredictable. It's actually thrown off the best of the best many times, but you have to be patient with it and, just hold on, because that is like a lifeboat type of insurance against a crazy catastrophic problem that may occur at some point in time. It may occur. I think actually with the price, where the price of silver goes through the stratosphere and there's major problems in the banking system, is if we go to like global war. Then it's going to go back to old school all the way. And, that's where the elite can possibly get screwed up big time. But, that's not something they're planning on exactly. I think there's a lot of intramural contests going on within the elite. The Russian elite, the Chinese elite, the European elite, and the American elite all have their own ideas on how the New World Order is going to be and who's going to be the top dog and what their position is going to be. And they will cut each other's throat. They will. At our expense, too. If they go to war, we're screwed, too, right? But as far as like the banks just closing in May this month or June or sometime this year, oh, bullshit. Bullshit. I guarantee you, if I did a cursory fast look around on YouTube, I could find a gazillion videos about bank closures coming up this year. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just want to put it out there. It's something that could possibly happen, I said, in the event of, a nuclear attack or an EMP or a terrorist attack on our banking, on our, what do you call it, on our infrastructure that supplies electricity throughout the grid. They said the actual power grid in the United States is actually pretty vulnerable. Well, since the banking system is mainly electronic, yeah, that could freaking screw crap up. But I guess even that wouldn't be as bad as, anywhere near as bad as an EMP attack. Now, that would do it, but you know what? That's when you're talking about another elitist group going against the Western elite. The Western elite aren't going to play that game. They got too much to lose. They are interwoven into our society. They are control freaks, and I don't think there are a lot of them are nice people too much, but they are interwoven in our society. They may go in other areas of the world and just look wherever the money goes, but still, a lot of them are totally interwoven into our society. And a lot of the elite in the United States, the ones you don't hear about, like on the conspiracy channels on YouTube, are heavy into real estate. And real estate values and real estate income from real estate is heavily dependent upon the overall economic well-being of the United States. So, just keep that in mind because, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to play Conspiracy 101 here, but I'm going to play True Blue, the absolute freaking facts. And it's nothing actually has changed that much over the last 100 years in the United States. Nothing has changed that much. Not at all. Not at all. But, if you're worried about your money in the bank, I will actually put a link to a website where you can look up the troubled asset ratio of your bank. It's not a well-known website, but you can look at the troubled asset ratio of your bank and see the health of it. The troubled asset ratio, if it starts getting up to 90% or more, that could be where the bank is ready to go under. But even if there's a bank that goes under, what happens is the FDIC goes in there, moves in, and the bank's assets get split up and bought up by another bank. Another bank might be buying up the depositors' money, another bank might be buying up the loans or whatever, and it just goes smooth sailing from there. Like I said, I don't think, I hate to freaking blow the bubble on the conspiracy theories because, I'm not working for the Illuminati, man. I tell you the truth, there's a lot of people that keep asking me about stuff that they want, to partner up on this and that. I'm only doing my stuff. I'm only doing my stuff. And I tell you the truth, I'm a person. I've totally bucked a lot of garbage many, many times. I don't play games with nothing. So, if I thought there was something coming up, I would say it. I would say it. I wouldn't give a damn who I pissed off. I wouldn't care who I pissed off. Not at all. I'm just saying, most of these clowns out here with the conspiracy theories about the banks going under and all the doors closing, it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. It's just fear for profit. It's all these guys are playing.